I gotta say something about this, guys, because if I don't, then I will never feel better about myself. Plus, this kind of ties into what I've been asked about lately in regards of streaming, so here we go. Just so everybody knows, I don't want to spend too much time ranting about this because I kind of want to move forward with topics that make me happy instead of topics that do not make me happy. But just recently I noticed that HBO has taken over DC Universe and has rebranded it over to being DC Universe Infinite, aka DC Comics 2.0, all to prop up their own streaming service, HBO Max. And personally, as someone who actually enjoys watching DC content for only $8 a month, I think this idea is absolute horseshit. Because not only does it feel like they're just trying to copy Netflix with trying to be bigger and more diverse with their content, but it also feels like a greedy, money-grubbing corporation move. I'll never understand why people were so salty and dismissive towards DC Universe. But honestly, I would rather just use that app a whole lot more than HBO Max. Just because I feel like they offer way better deals than HBO Max. Or at least used to, now that they're extinct, thanks to Warner Media. My problem with Netflix and streaming services like it is that they tend to charge you over $10 for just one lousy subscription. You know, I've never been a fan of that concept, and it's been a staple of streaming since. Which is why I'm not as invested in it as Johnson and Daypool and a lot of people are. But DC Universe was a huge alternative to that. I never had to pay over $10 for a monthly subscription, and on top of that, I was actually able to enjoy most of the content that they had to offer, alongside with new titles. And now that Warner Media has taken that away from me with this new streaming service of theirs, HBO Max, I honestly feel as though I'm being forced to relive the days where I have to pay over $10 for streaming. And I shouldn't have to do that over a lousy app that just so happens to mimic cable. Because really streaming is just a trendsetter, an add-on, okay? It's not the groundbreaking pinnacle of entertainment that people proclaim it to be. It's not the future. And anyone trying to justify that as factual truth is a crazy person. Streaming may be popular, but it's certainly not bigger than life. There are others out there like me who still prefer cable these days. Cable is always going to be around, regardless of how popular and big the internet gets. And any company that actually supports the idea of streaming taking over cable, obviously they're not thinking about the bigger picture and are not really being as diverse with their content as they so want you to believe. And to the people out there who actually supports this, like DC Network, I used to have so much respect for him up until he started making all these videos about how he thinks that DC Universe doesn't have a future and how it's going to get taken over by HBO Max and blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, what the fuck have you been smoking? HBO Max is just another streaming company, okay? They're not fucking Skynet. I like DC Network, but sometimes I feel like his takes are a little on the nose, stupid and dumbfounded. Same thing with Johnson and Daypool. I don't agree with him saying that Toonami needs to be shorter. If anything, I think the block needs to be longer so that they can flourish more with new content as they move forward. You know, I've never really been a fan of them going the short route of only airing a few shows and airing and going back over to Adult Swim, because, you know, that to me has always kind of felt really cheap and lazy and not very Toonami-ish at all. But that's just me. I prefer the longer Toonami. Hashtag make Toonami longer. But anyway, my thoughts on HBO Max are that it's simply not all that great. Not everyone is going to be on board with having to pay over $10 a month for TV and movie content, especially from DC. I mean, I sure as hell wasn't the first time I heard about HBO Max. Because it's like, why do damage control to a streaming service that actually had better deals than Netflix and many other streaming services combined? Sounds pretty stupid and outrageous when you think about it. Yet I have people on Instagram of all places telling me that, oh, but no one was using DC Universe, and HBO Max was the best way to bring in new viewers. For example, Titans is now number 5 streaming series in the US. I don't care about the viewership numbers if I'm not invested in a monthly payment. Then I have some other people telling me this. It's not outrageous. It's $14.99. It's $11.99 for me. You're just poor. Okay, clearly you don't understand the value of a dollar, buddy. It is outrageous. You can't fucking tell me that everyone on God's green earth is going to spend all of their hard-earned money on streaming just because HBO Max is popular and it offers a lot of TV shows and movies. Half of the shows and movies that HBO has in their library, I could just watch somewhere else. I don't need to subscribe to HBO Max in order to do that, because it's just too pricey as hell. All it is Warner Media trying to bank on the success of Netflix and Hulu. And just to be clear, I'm not completely against HBO Max as a whole, as I do understand what it has to offer. I just personally can't justify paying full price for streaming when I only want to watch a few TV shows and movies. But anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this decision made by Warner Media. Do you disagree with me? Do you think that this is a good thing? Do you think that they struck oil with HBO Max like people are saying? Or do you agree with me and think that, yeah, this is pretty outrageous? Not everyone is going to buy into this. Either or, I would like to know what you have to say in the comments below. Anyways, I'm Hellblazer, stay righteous, and I'll talk to you guys next time.